All right, looks like we're live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this is like I guess the regular streams of Sweetcast. Tomorrow we'll have a special episode. This one feels special though. It's the what I call it, the calm before the storm. Are you feeling it yet, Charlie? Is it stressing you out?
I am stressed out. I am oscillating between total overconfidence and
Yeah.
complete inadequacy, feeling of total inadequacy.
Yeah.
Every drawing that I've made, I look at and think, that looks good. And then I walk out of the room and I come back and I think, no, I got to fix that. So I don't know. All I can imagine is not enough scotch, too much scotch. What should I do? I don't know. So let's go for more scotch.
Yeah, it can't hurt, I guess. Maybe, I don't know. It's for me it's weird because this is my third time around, and I know it's usually the day before, so 2 days before and the day before. Those days are just like so stressful, and then the morning of, for some reason, it's almost like you've already jumped off the cliff. Do you know what I mean? Like you jumped off the diving board. So at this point, you're just fully committed. So it doesn't matter. It's just kind of like, well, we'll see what happens when I hit the water. So,
one of my favorite feelings, if you did poorly in school as a student, you were getting up to the test day, and then you take the test. But if you did no studying and you were nervous, and then you started taking the test, and then you started to you realized, I don't know any of these answers. Suddenly you realize there was a freeing moment in the total failure where you'd say, I can't answer any of this. And you just fill them out in random order.
Yeah.
And you're the first one out. So the teacher thinks either this is a certifiable genius or an imbecile. And I liked that feeling of leaving early and the freedom of failure. So let's, I'll assume it'll.
Yeah.
It won't be that. I don't know.
you give yourself permission to whatever. I don't know though. Yeah. I was going through the campaign though earlier today, going through adding more artwork and stuff. Obviously, we've got some tweaking to do off the air with that. But as I was looking through it, I was like, "Oh, this is so cool!" And I had my wife look through it. I was like, "Tell me what you think about this." And there were like a few things like there's one page where one of the alien beasts is like coming toward Flynn, and she's like, that is a creepy panel. Like it just looked like this scary, and I was like, good. But making you feel something, that's exactly what we want. So
all right, evocative.
Yeah, I don't know. It felt good looking through it. I was pretty happy with what I was seeing.
Yeah, I feel good.
Yeah. So I've got I'm going to show off a little bit here. A bunch of the books I got. So Downcast is fulfilled, and I have to clarify this because I put out an announcement that said it was fulfilled, and then all of a sudden I got about 15 messages from people that said fulfilled. I don't have my book yet. So that means that it's out of my hands. The post office has all the books, and now it's just, we're waiting on the mail. We're waiting together.
That's why they're removing those mailboxes.
Yeah, I heard about all this postal stuff. I was like, wait till I fulfill my campaign before anything. I was waiting for them to like, postage is going to be doubled. It's the only way, something like that was going to happen. It would ruin me. So yeah, luckily nothing like that happened. Got everything shipped out. Yeah, Kurt's saying no spoilers. Don't worry. We won't give it any spoilers. I heard about this too. Scott Snyder doing Kickstarter, but not without getting a gatekeeper. Apparently, he's going to be doing an image book. I hear. I don't know how reliable this is, but he's going to be doing an image book, but he's going to throw on Kickstarter first, which is something that Image has never done before. They've apparently been against it. So I think that's interesting. The soft embrace of crowdfunding has begun. There will be more, I'm sure of it.
Isn't he the biggest writer at DC?
Probably, yeah. I would say he's the biggest writer at DC. He's done some stuff at Image, and he's going to be doing more like creator-owned stuff. So probably a lot more with Image. But yeah, he's definitely doing well for himself. All right, so I'm gonna show some stuff off here for a minute because I got a ton of comic books in the mail. Black and white. This is Art T Bear, and it's really, really shiny. So I got my copy of Black and White finally. That one looks nice. Have not read it.
I got mine too.
Nice.
I spent a lot of time looking at it, but I didn't actually read it. I've completely clipped out past reading anything. I think I'm functionally illiterate at this point. I don't know what it is. Reading is. I've given up. I just look at pictures. For years, I used to buy art books. It was John Singer Sargent or Norman Rockwell or Gustav Klimt, and people read about the artists' lives. All I did was look at the pictures. I'm that simpleton. And Black and White to me was just awesome. Was there a plot? I don't know. You're a writer. You tell me.
I haven't read it yet. My problem is I haven't even opened. I did open it and briefly flipped through, but not really enough to give it a good. I don't know, to be very thorough about it. So I just need some time to read. That's my next thing. And I have a ton of books. Did you get these two? These are the Unforgettable Tales.
No,
1 and 2.
Get those.
Yeah, these are, my understanding, these are reprints of older books from the 90s, but he has new covers and they're Chromium, but I think he's perfected the Chromium because the last ones were, the Chromium itself was so thick it would kind of bow out. These are like, they're thin, they're almost like just a regular sort of thicker cover stock, but I don't know what he did. They look really cool though, even just for the covers. Again, I haven't read them, nor looked at the letters. I also got Door Kickers, not Door Knockers. Like I posted on Twitter. There's one of each cover there. I'm excited to read this one too. My son really liked the look of it because he likes magic, and there's a dude shooting like magic rays out of his hand, and there's guns, and those are the two things that he's really into. So
it's a good combo.
Yeah, it's a good combo. Guess that's it. And then that's it. That's what I got now. I kind of want to go through and do an inventory of all the books I've backed and see which ones I'm still waiting for and make sort of a checklist, like which ones are late. So I keep saying, oh, I'm not worried. There's no books that are late that I've backed, really, like that I'm concerned about. But I didn't. I have to go look and make sure that I'm not lying. Let's see. Jude might have the answer to me. They're foil. They're not Chromium. I missed that. So I'm going to say then officially that I like foil better than Chromium. Is that blasphemous? It just makes more sense to me. It feels better as a book. You can turn the pages. It still has that nice like embossed business going on, the texture, and it basically looks the same. So I like it foil. Let's see. ALS's Black and White was nice. Shiny. Yep. Lots of stuff shiny. All right. So that's what I have going on, besides the fact that the campaign is launching tomorrow, and the plan is to launch it around, what did I say, 2:00. We might do it 1:00. I think it depends on when the stream gets running. I'm almost thinking, so we're doing this on the air now, we're only talking about an hour difference, so it's not a big deal, but I'm almost thinking that if we did it earlier, we'd have a little bit more time to stream throughout the day. I don't know if that really makes a difference, but you don't want to do it too early because you want people to be awake when it launches. So I don't know. Any opinions? Again, it's an hour. I don't think it matters that much.
Who's not awake at 1?
Well, around the world, I guess. According to stuff that I've read, the best time to post YouTube videos is between 11 and 2 o'clock Eastern time, because there's more people on the internet during that time. So I assume that it applies also with crowdfunding campaigns, but I don't know. I might be reading into it too much. Then someone like your boy Zach, he can launch like Friday at midnight and still make $200,000. No big deal.
Absolutely. Well, whatever you think is best. I am tabula rasa going into this. I don't know, no opinion. No facts on my side. I'll just go with your anecdotes or your data, Or if you have enough anecdotes, we'll call that data.
It works, yeah. I don't think it'll make too much of a big deal. It's we're talking about an hour, but tomorrow it'll happen. Mailing list. The way we're gonna work it out is send out the email to the mailing list, and then go live and try to sort of sync those up. So if you're not on the mailing list, I think you can still get on the mailing list. It might look like a downcast landing page. I think the link we have on this stream, or you can go to the pre-launch page. And before we launch tomorrow, I'm going to import all the people from the pre-launch page one more time to the mailing list so I don't miss anybody. I know we got several more people sign up. So I'll add those on, and you will get access to a secret perk. I'm not going to tell you what that is, because if you don't sign up for that's the fun of it being secret. I can't tell you what it is unless you're on the mailing list. So there will be a secret perk for those that sign up. That can be kind of fun. Regardless, though, if you guys are able to back tomorrow, we really appreciate it. It's super helpful, and it makes it so that we can make great comics. And then the stressful filling leagues. When you have a great day one, it's like, okay, I don't have to be stressed out for a month straight. Things will be okay.
I don't even know the perk.
We'll talk about it. Like most things, I'm still like, is this the right? The pricing, I'm not 100% sure. I know what the perk is, but I'm not sure 100% on the pricing. So we'll talk about that. You'll find out tomorrow. We've got it.
Wait, right before that, a minute ago, you're leading, the rolling through the ideas, rolling through the stuff. That sounded beautiful. I'll just do my best to stay out of the way of that. Because I'm already marble mouth. I don't know what to say at this point. I'll just keep drawing. Right?
You're good. Draw. We'll talk. We'll have. It'll be a fun stream tomorrow. The day of like the launch stream anyway, I start to get like dry mouthed, and again, you've already jumped off the cliff, like you're waiting for the water to hit. But I don't know. It'll be fun. That's kind of the fun of it, is we're just regular people. Speaking of irregular, hi Eric, how are you doing? I was gonna say regular, and then that sounded like a diss. And then if I say irregular, I mean super regular.
Sounds like I have IBS. How's it going, everybody? It's good to be here. Charlie, Clint. All I have is this little tiny.
Wow, shalom aloha. That's a fun little drink.
I was at the liquor store. I was grabbing Guinness a little while back, and I was like, why not? It makes me feel like a giant when I hold it. So, So we'll see.
That is as fine as they get, that one.
Indeed.
So it looks like vanilla extract almost.
It really does.
Right size, yeah.
So check this out. Normally, see, Clint knows. I've said this before in public, but we're moving, so like stuff's starting to get torn down.
Uh-oh.
The bookshelf is in boxes on the floor. All my a lot of the stuff that's normally behind me right here is in a box now too. So we are moving forward, slowly getting things packed. So it's gonna be fun and nerve-wracking and all of that stuff.
When's the last time you moved?
5 years ago.
It's like it's never long. I hate moving. Like I wouldn't mind changing houses if you could just teleport and have it be done. But the act of moving is just the worst.
I don't mind it. I like moving. This is sort of a reset for us. Without going into too many details, it's sort of a reset for us. So it's nice. It's a little smaller than what we wanted, but it's like, give it a couple of years and then we'll be able to really get what we want. But right now it's like, we got to get a house. So we call it the house that CG built, or at least paid for. So, cause it wasn't until after I started working on Comicscape books that this became more of a reality. So,
yeah.
So thank you, Comicscape, for helping me buy my wife a house.
Nice. There you go. Cheers to that, man.
Indeed.
So 5 years, that's a lot of moving. We're not like that. That's you just unboxed everything.
After a little while, you kind of get settled. When we first moved, we're in an apartment. We thought, okay, we'll move as soon as we can. and then you get first you don't like it, and then you're like, okay, it's okay, and then you get kind of comfortable with it, and then you realize, no, we gotta get out of here. So so now is the time, and so far all the paperwork's moving forward and things are doing good. So
Beautiful.
Yep.
And you're not just leaving because they started finding the bodies.
No, we're trying to leave before they find the bodies.
There you go. All right. That's good thinking.
The new people will be like, no, we swear these were in the attic before we moved in.
Yeah.
Tell it to the judge.
Once they sign it over, it's their property. So as long as they don't know beforehand, we're good to go.
It's all their
That's
responsibility. The oil drums buried in the yard, the waste, the hazards, and the bodies. All the crimes go together.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, so Eric, how's your campaign coming along? People are talking about they want you to get 100K in the chat. I think that's always the goal. But
hell yeah.
Have you hit 70K yet? I know you were
I'm so close. I'm about 1,500 away from 70K. Let me see. Battle Brick Road is 68,615.
You know, I have a theory. I think that you would be at 70K now if it wasn't for those. I don't know who it was. Somebody ripped your idea off, and they're making their own version of basically your idea.
Yeah, they are. They are. My idea has been stolen, and I'm going to seek. Was it called reparations? No, I don't think that's the right word. Hey, you know what? They're
restitution.
Doing restitution.
Do you want reparations too?
Hey, everybody's ancestors were once owned by slaves, right? Owned by slaves? That's not how it works.
Yeah, that's even rougher.
Actually, no, that's true. Since everybody's been through the slave trade at one point or another during the human history, everybody's been owned by slaves.
Yeah.
Think about that. Think about it. Anyways, yeah, somebody's ripping off Battle Brick Road. And they're doing it on Kickstarter, and they race swapped Dorothy. So, you know. And there are pronouns in the bios on Twitter.
What's do you remember what the name of this thing is? I know.
Yeah, it's one of the names that I thought of back in the day. I thought, nah, it's too generic. I don't want to do it.
And
it's
they did
the OZ.
They went with the generic name.
Yeah,
that's funny. Yeah, I'll find it somewhere. I know I saw a link floating around. It was pretty funny. Maybe it's back a ways. We'll see.
Is the art good?
It's
meh.
Passable. It's all right. I mean,
I only saw one image.
It's indie.
I found it.
It's indie.
I found it. Here we go. I'm going to share this screen. There we go. This is it. I'm going to click on this.
By the way, that image looks familiar. That monkey with the
Yeah, it's a traced monkey from the movie.
No, it looks familiar. Like I've seen it somewhere before.
Yeah, that's definitely a photo, though, isn't it?
I don't know. There's just there's something to it that seems familiar to me.
It's Banksy-ish.
Yeah, it's kind of a Banksy, exactly.
But they don't even have art here. They say it's a mix between The Wizard of Oz and Mad Max Fury Road.
It's almost like they've heard my pitch.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird, right? Because I've been talking about. Back in the day, it was called Operation Zephyr. I just called it Oz.
Yeah.
But people have known about it for 2 or 3 years.
I never connected those two names. It was Operation Zephyr, which sounds badass in itself, plenty. But I never did the vowel.
The OZ. Not a lot of people did. Some people got it right away. Some people didn't. So if we had gone with that's the subtitle now for Battle Brick Road. That's the title of book 1. But yeah, I mean. We're cooking. BattleBrickRoad.com. We're doing great. 68,615. I mean, they're doing pretty good too. They're at last I saw 14 or 15 grand day one. So but they've got the power of journalists like writing about their story and say, "Hey, isn't this a great take on the Wizard of Oz?" I'm like, "Yeah, it is."
Been there.
Yeah.
And it's been done before, and I'm doing it actively.
It's crazy to me too how they just totally ignore Indiegogo.
Oh, yeah.
It's just Indiegogo doesn't exist, even though campaigns make consistently more money. I have heard people say the opposite, but I look through the Kickstarter and it's like for the most part, most campaigns are making like under 10 grand. You know, these comics campaigns, and there's those as well on Indiegogo, but I don't know, man. I still think Indiegogo is the place to be. I'm looking here now. I'm going to share screen again.
You're looking at what now?
Share screen. I'm just looking at Kickstarter because now they've got a ton of stuff going on. I've got to find some evils to defeat. I was just telling Charlie this for tomorrow because that would make it fun, you know. But it's like I'm not sure where, like how many to find, you know. But we could find some old ones. I'm sure that have never been fulfilled. That would be kind of fun.
Yeah, those are around.
Here's Scott Snyder's campaign. Oh, he's doing okay.
He's crushing it. I mean, it's Scott Snyder.
I know. How long? This has been up for like a day, I think.
Yeah,
not very long at all. $72,000 out of a 40 grand goal. I don't know. What would you do if you got $39,000 though to make the book? Because I've set our goal at 8,000 for Fatal because it's just like that's typically seems like what you do. We could set it at 1,000 basically. It doesn't really matter because I know we'll make more than that. Nocturnal, huh?
That looks rad. Well,
I don't know who did the art on this.
I'm assuming Tony Daniel was the name on top with Snyder.
Oh, was it? Nice.
Tony S. Daniel is the artist, and yeah, Scott Snyder's a writer.
Oh yeah, yep. Cool. Nice. Well, I'm not promoting it, but I just wanted to look at it. Kickstarter. Yeah, I don't know. I've got to look through this. This is I've got to look through it more specifically. So if you have any ideas for some evil for us to defeat, let us know. That'll be kind of fun.
Well, clearly you got to beat Downcast.
Absolutely. Yeah. We'd start with the first one and then go to the second one. That would be good. I also thought you could look on IndieCron and look up sales numbers for graphic novels in given months because those are shockingly low. When you go through and look at it, like a graphic novel sold 300 copies, like in the in a given month, it's kind of nuts how few they sell. But that yeah.
IndieCron or Comic-Con?
Comic-Con, excuse me, not IndieCron. I get them mixed up.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah. Fatal launches tomorrow. Yes, that's true. And nice, can't back till Friday though. I understand that comes up. It's hard to like plan. I try to plan it around paydays, but everyone's payday's a little bit different.
The eagle flies on Friday.
The eagle flies.
You ever heard
on
that
Friday.
saying?
No.
There's eagle on the money. People get paid on Friday.
That's when you're getting paid.
Eagle flies on Friday. Saturday, I go out to play. Unless
you get paid twice monthly, then it falls on like the 7th and the 21st or something like that. Wherever those days.
Things have gotten more complicated since the songs that I know were written. James Brown sang that one back in the 60s. Eagle flies on Friday. Saturday, I go out to play.
James Brown wants to kiss himself. He's so pretty.
He is.
Ooh, yeah.
Star Taylor.
I wanted a guy that would bring me a cape when I feel like I'm done. I can't go on any longer. And then he comes and puts a cape over me as I'm walking off stage. But then the band hits and I get more energy and I get back out there. Yeah. And I glide across the floor with my feet doing this thing.
You got to come back.
That's what it's like to letter comic books, is what I'm saying.
You get your kids to put the cape on you.
That's right. That's a good idea. They can, put one on.
Go, Daddy.
The little one can go on the older one's shoulders and put on a big trench coat, and it'll be like a giant human at this point. But yeah, I mean, why not?
Here's some news. Well, first off, the let's see, the lower evil to defeat would be Poulter's latest campaign on your first day. I don't know what his latest campaign is, but I've seen some of his campaigns and they're, I don't know. They're beatable. We'll say that. This is news too. Snyder is using Kickstarter's gatekeeper Zahn. This is what Camilla Zahn, I think her name was. Am I mixing up names? For his campaign manager. Do you get a campaign manager when you launch a campaign?
You know what I've
never heard
noticed?
of anyone doing that?
No. Oh, Scott Snyder did it. Not Scott Snyder, obviously, because it's that campaign. The other guy, Sean Gordon Murphy, did it too. He mentioned his campaign manager. I don't get like I guess it's just like the person that puts the stuff together and answers emails or something. I don't know.
Yeah, why not? If you're the two biggest names in comics, why not?
You could do it, but you look at like Ethan or Doug TenNapel, and they just launch they just put pictures up and launch the campaign.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's that too.
Yeah,
Because we have fans. I mean, they do too, but it just seems maybe they're like, I'm too busy. I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know.
He hired her. That's probably why he had to make 40 grand.
He was probably, let's just say, encouraged to hire her.
Cygnus 5, are you named after the planet or the star? Is it Cygnus 5 or Cygnus X9? You're an astrology fan? Is that why you're named that? Or was that name given to you when you landed here on Earth?
Give away all your secrets.
Yeah. She's guarding him on Twitter.
Oh, no.
That's what I need a Twitter bodyguard. That would help.
I don't do a good enough job?
Yeah. Eric's always, verbally bouncing people.
I verbally keep you in check when you call it door knockers.
That's okay. So that's not a bodyguard. That's a keeper. Is that what they call it when you've got I'm sure Biden has somebody that helps him not say stupid things, or that's their job, right?
They're not doing too well.
Sure. Yeah, I'm sure he does.
Have a
And they're doing a
popsicle.
bang up job.
Yeah,
There's the other one that keeps his brain in the jar after one of his many lobotomies. There's the other one that keeps his hair in. When they're putting, I think that's what happened. When they're putting the hair in, like the pin cushion,
yeah,
I think they just went too far and zapped right down to the medulla oblongata.
Went too deep. Well, it could have been. I heard it's the same guy that takes care of Lenin. Actually, is he in the Kremlin? Is that where his body is being shown? Same guy that keeps the wax flowing. That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
Keeps the wax flowing.
Yeah. Do you know, like,
what does that mean?
His corpse is like, it's like a good, I don't know what the percentage is. It's something like 30% wax now, because they have to,
keep it from shrinking?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure. I watched a little video on it one time. I was curious.
That reminds me. Do you listen to Lore, the podcast?
No.
There's a podcast called Lore, and it's all just folklore tales from around the world. And several times they bring up being buried alive, and all the like little mechanisms that they would do to keep people to like make sure that they were not being buried alive. There's some insane stuff. And currently, still there is a person buried alive. No, sorry, there's a person buried that they put a window in his gravestone so you could see if he was alive or not.
Gross.
Yeah, it's all like you can't see through it anymore because it was like the 1800s. But I mean, they would put bells that, like, if somebody was in there, they could ring a bell if they woke up in their coffin.
Isn't that where the saying comes from? The bell toll, for whom the bell tolls.
Maybe
something.
Oh.
There's
Something
one of
like
the sayings about comes from when they were burying all those people and they put the bell
on their toe.
Ring.
Wasn't it tied to their toe or something? That's what I
don't
heard.
remember all the details. You should listen to the podcast. No, but then there were like medical things that the doctors would do to make sure that the patient was actually deceased.
They would have sex with them.
Yes.
That's how I do it.
Yeah. Like they would put things under their fingernails, or like they had something called a nipple pincer just to see if they would wake up.
That'll wake it up.
Purple nurple. That.
Yeah. Get the old purple
my wife
nurple.
Wakes me up in the morning. Wake up.
Are you alive, honey?
She shoves little splinters of wood up your fingernail, under your fingernail bed.
I found it now. Here's
found it?
art from the Oz, and it stands for, I don't know what it stands for.
It stands for the occupied zone.
Oh,
I'll be honest. When I was going to do the OZ, it was going to be called the outer zone. But occupied, I mean, it works. But
okay. This is an incredibly different art style from the image I saw earlier. So yeah, it must have been some kind of homage to something.
there are like four or five variant covers, or at least 4 or 5 posters that in there.
Gotcha.
So
And you'll get on Bleeding Cool. Should I know any of these names?
I don't know them, but it's not just Bleeding Cool. I mean, this was on IGN, this was on Multiverse, this was like everywhere. Like, oh, look at this brand new wonderful idea. It's like, oh, okay.
I sent out a press release once, and they responded back to me and said, "Isn't this kind of self-serving to send out a press release about your, promoting yourself?"
Who the hell else is going to do it?
I know. I was like, that's what PR is. That's what a press release is. Like, where do you think they came from? Anyway, I gotta say though, your Tin Man, I might be in the minority, but I think that your Tin Man is your best character design. I like the Scarecrow, but the Tin Man is cool.
Thank you.
The more I look at him, I like him, and I like it better than this.
Thank you.
Yeah, this art's pretty good though. I have to say, looks good.
Yeah, I mean, it's that indie style that's sort of like who is it? Who did Black Science? Raphael Albuquerque. It's sort of like that.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the flying monkeys, the
Mateo
militarized flying monkeys.
Scalera.
Yeah. There's a lot in this that's like, when you see this, you see a Yellow Brick Road and you see an Emerald City. And with our book, we're not doing that. We've been purposefully going against that. There are nods here, and then that's Dorothy, by the way. So
okay, all right.
So, but our Dorothy is a war veteran as well. But she's supposed to be like the granddaughter. Here's their story. She's the granddaughter of the Dorothy Gale that went to Oz, and she has to go back to Oz to, I don't know, right some wrong.
Make sure the bell's not ringing.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Why is it that redheads? This is another example of redheads being erased from pop culture. I don't know, but Vaughn probably knows. Vaughn, what do you think?
We're sick of your shit, you redheads. Like, all the chicks like get all the guys to themselves, and then like all the guys just get repulse everyone and freak them out. Right?
And
Eric?
everybody thinks I'm a ginger, but I'm not. But if they keep replacing them, I might be the only one left that's even passable as a ginger.
Eric only has ginger lighting in his life.
It's the lighting.
It's the
like
lighting.
when I meet you in person and you're signing books with me, Eric, it's gonna be so awkward because like you're not gonna be a ginger lighting, you're gonna be a Vaughn lighting, and it's gonna be awesome. But no, here's the thing, man.
Let's be honest.
It's gonna be just red lights and hookers. That's just gonna be. Dude, when you come hang, it's gonna be fun. Don't tell your wife I said that. So here's the thing. I got to comment on that Oz thing you guys were showing. First off, what is up, my white boys? How you doing?
Howdy.
Good to see you.
It's just the lighting. I'm not that pale, okay?
Clint,
I believe you. No, dude, you're like straight up like Gomer Pyle and
I'm
stuff, like Joker.
Clint, you got to put that camera through OBS and put on a filter.
Yeah,
I need one that puts life. I look like
the
the
book.
undead.
This is the book that they're doing as like post-apocalyptic Oz.
Yeah,
I don't see any apocalypse.
It looks
so far.
Yeah, it's not grimy. Like everything's just blandly pristine. Like that's one of the problems with modern SJW fiction. I'm gonna go ahead and make the leap and just go, yeah. This is gonna be SJW, dude.
Well,
this is a cool rival for you, Eric.
Creators have bios in their or pronouns in their bios. So,
oh, they do.
That tells you everything
right,
you need to know.
Yeah.
If he's a he/him, you know, he can lick my dick balls. Anyway, so like, here's the thing. Like, you can tell it's SJW because their version of the apocalypse is like well tailored and well, everyone's kind of like wearing clean stuff, and like it doesn't make any sense. Like they do that in some of their movies. Like remember that Bird Box movie where everyone was wearing like form-fitting clothes the whole time and sitting on West Elm furniture. Like I don't know what we're gonna do. This is tense. Like it was so bad. Way too their post-apocalypse is way too comfortable for me. Like it's not like a Battle Brick Road. Like, look at this.
Yeah.
Is that the protagonist, the black female protagonist?
This is
She's
Dorothy.
so overused now. She's boring. Oh, what if
She's-
Dorothy was black? Wow.
She's
I'm
tired.
bringing
Good looking.
Ginger Dorothy back.
It's
She's
so
tired
boring.
of starring in all
if
these
your main
comics.
your main character is now every person in every commercial right now. Like the commercials, every like this, like even for like the cereal commercials, everyone's just like a angry minority now. Everyone's black in our country, according to the media. It's weird.
I have a
I'm weirded
theory.
out.
Could it be that they're getting references from stock photos, and now stock photos? Like the only reason corporations are looking for stock photos is for diversity. Like, okay, I need a crowd of people with exactly this, these identities all in the group. Maybe that's it. That could be it.
Well, there's a problem with stock photo tracing, but I don't think it's this book.
No, those are not traced photos. Those are good. Those are drawings.
I've seen some of those. I know exactly.
Well, that brings me to another thing that's you see in SJW books. Their art is vacant, like of a lot of detail that a lot of comic fans usually enjoy and appreciate. We love good art. Their art feels how do I say it? It's like I don't know, sweatshop propaganda. Like they didn't like the artist took no joy in drawing this and just wanted to get it done, so they just leave a lot of spaces and like don't use too many blacks and just make everything kind of vacant and like kind of dead. I don't know. There's just something soulless to it.
Wait. They don't use too many blacks?
Yeah. In terms of shadows. In terms of shadows.
Aren't spotting blacks. Yeah.
Yeah. They like these like color tones and that are like, I don't know, they're like out of some sort of Marxist propaganda manual. They're weird. They're not cool. They're not interesting. They're kind of devoid of life. It's weird.
So I don't get how they got so much media coverage, or how.
Well, from what like they somebody on the team is some.
They've got connections.
They've got connections, right? They've got some. They were nominated for some award, so that means I don't know.
SJW connections.
Yeah,
that's what we're looking at.
You know what?
So it's us versus them. Let's do it.
Here's the thing, though. I don't need those connections. Battlebrick Road doesn't need those connections because we got Comicscape bitches.
All roads lead to Battlebrick.
We got Comicscape fans. We got Sweetcast channel.
That's right.
We got all of these people that help promote Battlebrick Road. We got.
I help design your shit.
Vaughn helped do designs. I help
you on every page.
I've been on with the Zaid Comics guys. I've been on with I don't know, graded 0.5 RGE, Ethan Van Sciver, John Malin, Cecil. The list goes on and on and on.
He's been around the world.
An article on IGN.
Yeah, we've outgrown them.
They're not really getting many views anyway.
What are they at?
Not it's 16,000.
Wave our dicks at each other. 16. Okay. Day one, or is it like?
No, I think this is the start of their second 24 hours because the backer kit thing that I have has them.
Oh,
day one was at like.
Well, you've already won.
They did not defeat my evil.
Let's party.
Vaughn, you're totally right too. Like I was putting together like our, I don't know, you call it press run or whatever. What are all the streams we're going to go on tomorrow, which are a lot, considerable. Yeah. It was so easy to put together that list of streams.
Oh yeah.
It's just like there's tons of people, people are willing to help. Obviously it goes two ways, but it's fantastic. I got to look at Battlebrick Road here.
You don't have it favorited on internet speed dial.
Where's look at that? Look at the heart on this campaign. Doesn't that mean favorite right there?
You love it. Oh, I'm actually lettering cash grab right now. I was going through some edits on a page.
Is it finished, or are you lettering simultaneously?
We're moving along the train, the same train. Yeah.
Gotcha. I like that. Battlebrick Road.
No, it's never. Forget what I said. That book's never coming out. You get what you paid for.
Nobody wants their book.
We have a lot of actually pages of color on the campaign now. If you wanted to scroll through,
POCs.
Yeah.
Pages of color.
Well, people keep saying colored pages, and
that's too old timey.
I'm just trying to be sensitive.
Yeah,
Is
man.
this-
Is it black metal or is it a metal of color? You know, I don't know.
So I'm on a tangent here now. The Tin Man, my favorite character. I'm sure he's awesome in the book. What is this part of your storytelling, or is this something that Kenneth Rockerford just put in? The little glowing ball in his hand.
He did that on his own. So now I'm like, well, what the hell does that mean?
Dude, that's notice how it glows green? That's very Oz, okay? And there's power there. There's obvious power there. But the way he's looking at it all mystified, like I have a feeling that thing could do a lot of freaking damage.
The thing is, I'm like, that's like some kind of micron grenade.
He almost
dude.
looked a little bit concerned. He's like, whoa, what's this? Like,
Dude,
maybe,
it's a
you know.
It's a time-space vortex, man.
Oh, maybe he's peering at Kickstarter through that little orb right there.
The other side.
Ooh, he could pull his axe out of it and it'll look all big and made out of that energy. Like it's like his little sheath.
I like that. That's cool. That's kind of the fun thing though too, is like you get creative people all on it, and then like I'll even say like with Matt Weldon doing the cover, both of his covers actually, he just added elements that I was like, oh, like on the first cover they're sort of in this sewage drainage pipe thing, and I was like, okay, we got to have them go under the city sometime, like in the drainage area. It was just a cool idea. So colored pages, I don't think I've seen this one in color, have I? Maybe I have.
I don't know. They've been up for a little while, but I didn't really do an announcement of it until just a day or two ago. I put out the update on the email saying the pages are getting colored. So
I love your work, dude. I think you're hard on yourself, but that's just because you're a good artist and you're a hard worker. But like you're doing amazing stuff here. I mean, this is a cool book and it's selling really well. Like you should be feeling pretty awesome about now, I'd say.
Yeah, I'm feeling like when you're in the campaign mode, and Clint and Charlie, well, Charlie's gone, but Clint, you're about to feel this again. You know, I know you've done it twice before, but you get that feeling, right? And then when you're in it, because you know the number in your head, you know the number you need, you know the number you want.
And you know the number your wife wants.
You know the number your wife wants. Yeah. So then there's the tension or whatever you want to call it that whole time when you're promoting. And then once you sort of get past that, you can kind of relax and you feel good about it. And
then the rest of the times, that's why I like. So John Malin launched his, and I went on his stream. He dropped the link in a DM room, so I saw it. I was like, oh, I'll jump on. So I jumped on. He'd been streaming for I don't know, a couple hours or something, maybe an hour. I don't know. But you could tell, you could just hear it in his voice. Like he was just like, I'm going to sell this thing. And he was just working really hard, but you could still just feel the tension. And then when it was clear, like, nah, you're going to get 100K in the first 48 hours, if not sooner, then like you could just feel collectively the relief along with him. It's cool. Even it's John Malin, and he's always going to do great, but this is sweet right here.
Yeah. Holy smokes, that's beautiful.
Yeah, Farah is an amazing colorist.
I dig it. I dig it.
So, what? I guess let's assume that there's maybe somebody in the chat that doesn't know what Battlebrick Road is. So you mind if I pitch it?
Pitch it.
It's like a mashup of The Wizard of Oz meets Mad Max Fury Road.
Huh.
Wait, that sounds too familiar. Oh wait, but I came up with it first. But no, it's a really badass take on The Wizard of Oz. This dark sci-fi military version where we have these genetically modified creatures. We have AI constructs that each control a sector of Oz. These witches.
Oh, wrong campaign. Sorry.
Oh, dang. These
it's easy to.
Each control a sector of Oz, northeast, south, and west. Two were good, and two were not so good. And we follow a young Thea Gale on a mission to find her dad, and she falls into this war-torn world of Oz and befriends a band of badasses along the way. She has a little tactical drone, Toto. That's her sidekick companion, sort of like an R2-D2. She's going to meet the sniper Scarecrow you see there. She will see the face of Tin Man and hear the legends of the line, but they're going to show up in book 2. But I mean, it's just this badass. I keep saying badass. It's an awesome take. Vaughn, take it away. It's your turn. Earn your paycheck. Something.
You guys ever wonder why the Wizard of Oz didn't have balls? Well, Eric Weathers gives them big green balls that then explode. Oh, go back up. I was going with the imagery.
I was trying to find
then
it
explode as a Burt Reynolds with a scarf screams maniacally. Hipster Reynolds, hey, that latte's on me. Dad looks back with concerned anime eyes, and Dorothy's like, Dad, like this isn't, you were a worse driver. Like you always do this every time. Me and Lionel here are not having it. And then she pets a mysterious plastic object, and it's not a phone. It's not a toy. It's Killer Toto. This book is awesome. Just for that alone, you should be buying this fucking book. It's Killer Toto. Like, remember how in the first Oz you were like, why doesn't Toto kill people along with the lion and the scarecrow? You know, like, why is Toto such a bitch? And then, like, now Toto just comes out and is like, no, it does not compute. Your life shall end. Little gold, little armored guards from the Emerald City, or the Emerald Guards, I guess as they're called, fall off their speeder bikes that look awesome. I would buy that toy and shave with it. I think that speeder bike that he has, I want to shave with that every morning. It's badass. Anyway, Toto, as you can see, is a very dangerous looking circle. Like, he's just simple. It's like Apple wants to kill you. That's what Toto is.
Well,
that's how cool he is. So, like, watch out, because you're gonna get got. So yeah, look at how cool the detail is. The lighting's beautiful. It's a cool book. This is a killer title. This is why it's doing so well, dude. Like, Eric Weathers has crossed the threshold into like greatness with this book. That's a fact.
Thank you. You guys want to see a little sneaky peeky?
Yeah.
Of
the comic, I hope.
Of the ash can that's being drawn by Mark Marianelli.
Yes.
Do it. Drum roll.
Perhaps a
please.
panel from it.
Or two.
Let me share thy screen.
Half the book. Oh, here we go. Add to stream. That's cool.
Can I make this bigger?
I hope so.
I can.
Oh, cool. Wait,
So-
who did the art on this?
This is 6 a.m. Comics.
Oh, cool.
Hell yeah.
What we've got here is we're going to be telling the story of
Yes.
basically what happens after the sandstorm that they drive into, because we're gonna flash forward a few years in the main storyline. So we hired 6 a.m. Comics to tell us a little bit about what happened in that scene. Dorothy and Toto are traveling, and they get bamboozled by some ravagers or whatever. I forget what these guys are called, but yeah. So that's Toto there on the ground, taking it like a champ right there.
You made him a bitch again.
Yeah. So yeah, that's
so
the
cute.
First,
Even when he
first
gets
panel,
beat
Mark.
up, he's cute.
He's killing it, man. He's doing a great job.
Oh, this is Antifa, I think.
Hey,
I've seen this.
this is a live
Portland
stream
right
from
now.
Portland, Oregon. Yeah.
We're not in Kansas anymore.
You primitive scumbag communists. You guys are an embarrassment.
So that's never before seen outside of myself, Mark, and Zeb, the writer and co-creator of Battle Brick Road. Zeb and I have spent a lot of time putting this story together. So we're excited that we've been able to crush it as hard as we have so far.
Did you like
look
my
forward
answer?
to everybody's continued support. A lot of love is going into this story.
That's awesome. Well, while we have Vaughn,
I'm just going to be calling everybody primitive scumbag communists from now on, Ron.
You're welcome, man. Anytime.
that word is underused. It's communist, like communist. People are always saying fascist all the time. I would think I need to say communist more.
Yeah, primitive scumbag communists.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's what they are. That's what they are, my friends. Hey,
Reagan
look, it's
Lodge.
Monster MD.
We're gonna look at
my
yeah.
colorist. Oh, sorry. Did you have to say something?
One super chat. Sorry. Reagan, because I'll miss it. Reagan Lodge for $2.
Reagan Lodge.
Reagan, I'm sorry. Reagan Lodge. I'll say your name wrong. I say everyone's name wrong. But I appreciate the $2 super chat very much. Thank you. It says super hype for Fatal, day one backer. Thank you. I appreciate that. And that's high praise too,
Fatal.
coming from Reagan.
Yeah. So let me just pimp Reagan out real quick to everybody. Everybody go to reaganlodge.com/Wyatt. That's WYIT and sign up for his book because it looks epic. Absolutely epic. Reagan is a fantastic artist, great guy. He's always streaming on Twitch. So look for Reagan Lodge. I think it's Reagan Lodge on Twitch. But I want to show him some love because he's been a good supporter and a good friend. So check out Reagan Lodge's work and his upcoming graphic novel called Wyatt.
Nice.
Cool. I got to check that
Link
out.
is in the chat. I dropped it in there.
When is that launching too? We can.
That's a question I don't have an answer to.
Okay. Reagan, let us know. Let us know when it's launching for sure. But the campaign of the moment, we'll say, is Monster MD. This has been like a year though of crushing face, basically.
Crushing face and bluing balls. I'm sorry, everybody. We had to make it perfect. I know you're ready to burst on this one. I get you. I understand. I'm ready to burst too. I'm gonna have to throw away the first copy because I'm gonna burst on it, and then I'm gonna throw that one away. Nobody wants that. Nobody. Anyway, so this is Monster MD. We just got the final art for it. We're done with it. Eric and I are going to do the most badass polish ever on the final lettering pass. And so far, the work we've done has just made the book so much better and more badass than I ever could have hoped and dreamed. This is
so good. It's so good.
It's such a cool book. This is so cool. The amount of love in this that the whole team put in, Eric, Marco, and Tanya, everybody gave this their all. And I think it like speaks for itself when you see it and you read it and you feel it and you laugh and you get into the art and you get into the characters. I mean, this is a great book, man. This is my the best thing I've ever made. And I'm happy. I'm proud of it. I'm glad everyone has picked up a copy and Comicsgate's helped me out. I can't thank you guys enough. Without you, I wouldn't even be doing this. And like, since I was like 8 years old, I was drawing Ninja Turtle comics and stuff. Like that was what I liked doing the most. You know, I tried everything else but comics, but comics was like my mistress that always like calls me back. And that's when you figure out you just got to go to her sometimes. Like, just stop trying to be a doctor. Stop trying to be a graphic designer. You're not a bouncer. You're not a fine tea salesman. You're not I've done all kinds of crazy jobs. Like, I want to make comics and you guys made that possible. So thank you. Monster MD, story of a doctor of the local monsters. Absolute badass though. Like, he can use his fists and his wits. He's mitts and his wits type character. He's funny. He's jaded. He's fed up. He's underslept and underpaid. And then he's got Heidi, his invisible surgical assistant, who has got to be sexy. I mean, she's in a comic book. She better be sexy underneath all that invisibility. So like you get to see them go out and try to help monsters, and it's got this kind of 80s fun vibe. Really beautiful art by Marco, Italian artist, and they get into crazy misadventures that actually get really serious. So this is one of those books that knows when to lighten up and make you laugh, but it knows when to get serious, and it knows when to turn on the action and have some cool kind of fun action-y scenes, which only get bigger and more crazy by the end. I can't show it to you guys because it spoils too much, but like these last final like battle scenes, I mean, it's the most epic thing I've ever written.
They are so good. And I've no offense to Clint, because you're in the chat, you're in here with me. No offense to anybody that I have ever worked with. But Monster MD I've worked on a lot of books, as many people know. If you don't know, in the chat, you don't know, I letter most of CG's books. Monster MD there's something special here. This is I don't know if it's just, Vaughn, you picked the right team, because everything is gelling perfectly. And the way that you did this script, the way that Marco's art, and that I'm able to feed off of it. Certain art is easier to letter around. Charlie, your art is a blast to letter around. And I've only done one page. Did you guys show that earlier, by the way?
I think I showed it in a video briefly.
Video. Okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I can't wait to letter more of your stuff, Charlie. I guess we did a little bit on Jawbreakers, but I have a certain look that I go with Jawbreakers. This I'm pulling all the stops out. And this just being able to go over this story with Vaughn over what have we've done 2 or 3 nights over the past couple of weeks to try and make sure we get everything polished. If you guys have not yet backed Monster MD, you have to. I mean, listen.
Thank you, man. Thanks.
Listen.
Yeah.
And again, no, I don't mean to. That's not to put anybody else down.
I think Vaughn's awesome too. So.
I was talking about the book, not Vaughn.
I haven't had the privilege of looking at of reading Monster MD, but I did read his script for Black Terror, and that was pretty epic. Not the whole thing, first chapter or something like that. But yeah, it was
like
epic.
20 pages or something.
20 pages, yeah.
Yeah, guys, I am going to get even more epic than Monster MD for my next effort. Be rest assured. I want to be bigger and badder, and I want you guys to see other sides of my writing that just like blow your minds, man. And since I was a kid, when I first walked into a comic book store, the first thing I picked up was like Wolverine, like the original Ninja Turtles. They murder Shredder in the first issue, like all the violent Punisher. And then of course I got into X-Men, and McFarlane's Spider-Man was cool to me because it was darker. You know what I mean? Like it was really cool to get into like the more dark Avenger heroes of like Wolverine and people that just were badass killers. And I wanted to do my ode to that. So I wrote something pretty special for that. So I'll reveal more about that later, guys. But yeah, be ready. It's going to kick so much ass. And I will say this, Marco is coming back to work with me. So you're going to get like me and Marco some more. I hope you're ready.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Oh,
nice.
hey,
Is that Black Terror? Is that what's next?
You'll see.
Hey, Eric got his too. Yeah.
I got mine. Were you showing this up? I wasn't watching earlier. Yeah.
Sweet.
Got mine.
Those are pretty.
These aren't signed.
Really cool.
Was there a signature tier that I missed out on?
I don't know. I've been trying to pay attention to that kind of thing, but I'm not sure.
Because I could sign them, and
technically your name is on. Oh, you got cover credit too. That's
I got
awesome.
cover credit. How cool is that? Not everybody puts names on the cover, John Malin.
I did. You can't even see that.
Oh yeah, you did. Well, I was the one who laid it out, so of course I put No, not a lot of most people don't put letter on the cover. So when it's on there, it always feels good.
Yeah.
So thank you for putting Weathers on the cover. It helps the rep, helps the
Yeah.
Carl Weathers rep.
That's right. I'm in it. That's not even my real name. I'm in it to just boost Carl's clout within the comic book industry. Uncle Carl.
Here, I'm gonna pull up this lettering page while we're talking about lettering, because why not? I didn't really have it much planned tonight. I just felt like we want to stream because we're gonna stream tomorrow. So we're gonna launch tomorrow, and so I'm trying to get this
Fatal.
Taking a minute.
Yeah, dude. Let's talk
Flint
Fatal.
Flossies,
Fatal's coming up
Attaché,
tomorrow. This is taking forever.
Tuxedo Lounge.
I'm trying to bring this up.
This is the launching eve. Eve of a launch.
Eve of launch. If
Systems
that's not
check.
coming up, I can bring it up on mine.
Oh, Vaughn, I just looked at the private chat. You were saying, yo, hey, let me in. Sorry, Vaughn.
Yo.
I don't know how long you were waiting.
Not long. It was all good, buddy.
Okay.
Here's what's worse. Don't try to get in on Shane Davis's stream. He won't even look in the green room, and you'll sit in there for 15 minutes.
I did that to Art T Bear when I launched Downcast 2. I felt terrible. He was waiting. It was like 20 minutes or something. He waited. This time I'm going to be. It's because I was trying to draw at the same time. Remember, Ethan was like, "Do it."
Oh yeah, he was like, "Do a sketch." Yeah,
on stream, and I'm like,
yeah.
But hey, what you made?
I would try.
This is not opening. Let me try.
I'll open mine on my end, and we can show it here.
Monster, do you not go?
I don't know what my problem is. I probably have too many windows open or something. Oh, maybe it's already opened. Here it is. I've got it.
Oh.
Is this the new
lovely.
version? No, hold on.
No, here's.
Uh-oh.
You got the updated.
You
one.
guys did not see that. You did not see that.
You probably wouldn't have caught.
If
here
you
we go.
did, it would have been fatal.
Okay. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna have to name drop every now and then as we
Do you
talk.
So Vaughn did the voiceover for not just the voiceover, but he also helped with some motion. I don't know what you call it. Some editing for the video. You know,
I
he
did
kept
some motion effects for you guys.
motion effects. I had it very plain. I'm not super great at it, but the audio to me is the best part. It turned out really cool. So
Should we play it?
I kind of want. I'm like, should we?
Or are you waiting for tomorrow?
I don't know. We could. Why? I mean, there's 116 people watching. We could show it. Chat, let us know, I guess, if we should show
Play it.
Okay, we'll play it.
So
Do you
good.
guys want to hear me do like all the voices? Because that's what I did. It's
so first,
I'm scared, man.
though, this is the lettered page that Eric did.
That is so cool.
And the kind of the cool thing, you'll have to tell me, Eric, but
yeah,
it's a new book, new title,
This is so good.
without set lettering. Do you know what I'm saying? Like when you're doing job,
just right.
you have the look.
It's perfect.
When you have, so it's like starting from fresh, you can pick what the look is. You know,
right.
to me that's kind of exciting.
Charlie, you're just showing off, buddy. I love it. I love watching you jam, dude. Yes.
Most
More
books I
that.
do get to do that with. Only a few have I come on like halfway or issue 1 or issue 2, issue 2 in.
I love the gun.
But this
The gun,
this-
they'll always be different.
Wait,
Play it. Kurt Cuss knows it.
I want to like this video, but there's 69 likes. Oh, it's one of those.
Don't do it.
That,
Yeah,
Don't want to leave it on
One of those
69.
This video. Somebody unlike it so he can like it.
What's that?
All right.
Mash that. What's the saying? Mash the melee button. Mash it. Hit it.
oh, this is your screen, Eric. I'm like, why won't my screen stop sharing? Okay,
This is mine. I'll stop.
Active.
There we go.
no, you're fine.
Battle mask.
I
He's
just
got
wanted
a-
to make sure. I'm gonna find this thing, and we're gonna play it. All of you will get a preview. It's much. I'll say it's a million times better than the last one that I did. If you remember, for Downcast Rise and Fall, it was me rambling. I was just like, I'll just just talk about a video, like a regular video, I'll post it.
Yeah.
And then everyone's like, no, man.
We were all fans of that video.
the views weren't good. This is a huge improvement. We'll say that. This one is the correct version. Sorry. View on YouTube. Okay. Share screen. Hold on, it's playing. Share audio. Share screen. This is it. Everyone see that? Full screen.
Mhm.
Here it goes.
Can
And
you get
keep
rid
in
of us
mind,
and make it full?
how do I
Yeah.
do that?
You
Full
just
screen.
there you go. Yeah.
There we go.
Nobody
Okay.
talk. Shh.
Hold up. Just remember, Vaughn did every single voice in this.
Give me the popcorn.
We did some magic of vocal editing, but this is all Vaughn's voice.
We've received a transmission from the planet Bandra. Shall we give it a listen?
I'm calling you because my planet is sick. And not the monarchy, not the royal guard, not a single person on this spinning rock seems to care. It started gradually. First, it got into our heads. By the time I realized something was wrong, by the time I woke up, they were already here. Things look perfect at first glance, but that's how the aliens work. That's how the invasion starts. A slow boil. I'm calling you because I can't trust anyone here. You're off planet. You're a professional. And I'm afraid we might already be dead.
Flynn? How shall I respond?
It's a job. Let's suit up. Oh
And
my
that's
god.
Yeah, we need that. That's fun. Yeah, I see that. I'm hyped.
Me too, man.
Did it work?
Mike, I listened to it. The writing is so good. The voiceover is so good. Yes, it is epic. I listened to it several times, and I let my
Awesome.
family listen to it. The kids listened to it. Ron Clint, they were engaged completely. The kids and the 4-year-old walked away and drew a circle, and then some drippy stuff going down. And she looked up at me and said, "The planet is sick." And I said, "Oh no." Well, unexplained, it terrified the children.
So funny.
That's what I do. What the hell?
That's fun.
I'll be good this Halloween.
She looked up at me and said, "Is the planet sick?" And I said, "No, that was just my friends Clinton Vaughn playing pretend."
Yeah, that's just a liberal conspiracy, honey.
This planet has got some other problems. No alien invasions, no matter how hard we pray for them.
It's so effective. It's so effective. It's so good.
Yeah,
Eric about the Emperor us.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Nothing.
Oh man, that was really fun. Though there's something about putting together like a pitch. So here, okay, let me.
Hey, hold on. You've been rated, Clint.
I've been rated. 143 people watching. I saw Raging Golden Eagle raid.
RGE raid.
All right.
Quick,
He's
everybody pitch your books again.
Oh yeah. Raging Golden Eagle. I'm gonna be on his show. Charlie and I are going on his show tomorrow night, I believe.
It's a great show.
We're on the list.
It is.
So
Fun show.
I'm really happy about that. That'll be fun. I appreciate that. RG and everyone over here to say hi. And this face encapsulates it all. There we go.
I don't know what you're talking about. What just happened?
I'm the face. Oh, Raging Golden Eagle has a fantastic YouTube channel. And I guess everyone, I don't know, is that what they call it when they send everybody to a YouTube channel?
Yeah, it's a raid. It comes from Twitch.
Oh,
that's where I learned about them was Twitch, because you can actually send you can rehost your channel into somebody else's, so you'll rate them that way. So
It's hot.
yeah.
Does that mean they all just saw?
Did you give consent?
But no, basically what you do in YouTube is you drop a link to the other person's chat and you say, okay, we're done. Everybody go raid whoever, in this case.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
So you send all the people there, and if they like what they see,
love it. We love your raid.
So
Raid,
for all
raid,
of you
raid till
RGE
dawn,
viewers,
guys.
thank
Raid till dawn.
you for showing up.
Yeah, I
Click that
appreciate
subscribe button. Let's get Sweetie's. Oh, Sweetie, let's get his sub count up.
Yeah, man.
And back Battlebrick Road at battlebrickroad.com.
Oh, here's the one do you want to see? Here's the one I'm coloring now. I'll send it to you, Clint.
Oh yeah, I want to see.
Trying to finish. It's not done.
Yeah,
I'm
stick
trying to get
around,
in time.
guys, to watch this.
Because we have page 5. We could have for tomorrow. We could have page in color 5, 6. We could have 1, 5, 6, 8.
Are we working?
9, 10, and 11. I'm trying to get these things in color.
So you're coloring this.
I'm just coloring it. So
He's coloring.
I was
some.
Coloring it
planning
so
on that.
far. You keep saying that. I'm waiting for you to give me like, yes, I am the colorist. Like, what page do you need to be on to pop this cherry, man? What is gonna
So
take?
we're on page 23. That'll be it.
23? All right. Then he'll be
We
fed
get
up
there.
with you, Clint. That's your limit, man. And that's your limit.
I'm certainly not coloring it. Well,
Don't look at me. You
if
guys gotta find a colorist.
I know that you guys are looking. Check Kelsey Shannon's timeline. He put out a tweet saying, hey, let's show me your coloring work.
Yeah.
Start sending out messages.
He told me about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
We looked through.
Yeah.
We looked through some. Yeah. Right now we're just like, well, we'll get through this campaign.
Yeah. Honestly, what you guys have got right now is great. Color. as the way I see it, anything sort of change from
Right.
launch to shipping. So even like even the page I lettered, the script may be entirely different by the time we get there and it's ready to rock and roll. But it's
Right.
a good. This is what we can expect from.
Oh yeah,
the look and feel of the book. So
we have
looks so good.
more than adequate too. Like I was putting in, and we're gonna work through all this tonight, but I put in more pictures tonight into the campaign just to see, and I was like, dang, like there's a ton of art in there.
good.
So there, it's like a great sample for people, and all of it is just beautiful.
I think Charlie's at his best here, and that just gets me really pumped. And I think that if he ends up being the colorist, it's still all good. Like it's gorgeous.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't think Charlie wants to color the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's more. I think
would
it's
break
more
him.
time consuming than just drawing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. We got to get him a colorist, Clint. You got to get on it. Save Charlie Snogans.
We've talked to a lot of colorists. We're trying to find the right one. We need Charlie's artwork is beautiful. We have to have the right colorist. So we're not we're not rushing.
And we'll
Russian
plaster save Charlie on a water tower somewhere.
Yeah,
Just so we could find a colorist.
at least a milk carton. You know.
Shane,
Yeah.
what do you look for
One
in a
milk carton.
colorist?
What's up, Shane?
Hey everyone, sorry I'm messing with something. I saw the link. I'm probably late to the game.
We're always happy to have you.
I'm not up to much. What are you guys up to? You guys are launching Fatal like soon, right?
Tomorrow. It's launch.
Jesus.
Tomorrow.
It snuck up on me. Like I knew it was coming. I didn't know it was coming that quick.
For us, it's been like it was here. Now we'll postpone it. So now
Dude.
it's like, we're ready to go.
I have the worst concept of time during this whole pandemic thing, so maybe
yeah.
I've been keeping up with it since day one. It's just time's weird. Hello, Vaughn. Hello, Eric. Hello, Charlie. Hello, Clint. Hello, everybody.
Hey,
Hello.
how are you?
What were you guys talking about? Raid.
We got raided. Raging
I'm a
Golden
boomer.
Eagle people.
I'm a boomer, so I don't know what that.
So
like every time I hear raid,
stream, they'll end the stream and say, "Hey, go check out this other one," and people will show up and hang.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah.
uh,
So they rated us, and everyone stayed here, liked, commented, subscribed. So it's been really good. Really
Yeah,
good
it's-
for our
it's-
numbers here.
It's a way for a bigger channel to support a not as big channel.
Yeah.
Because you send your audience somewhere and they might like where you sent them and they're going to stick around and you've got a new subscriber.
Yeah. So Shane, give us some tips on what to look for in a colorist. Charlie and I we've been looking at a lot of colorists, over the past, I don't know, month or so. Again, COVID time, whatever it's been. What do you look for?
so
Shouldn't there be a glut of colorists exiting from all the industries right now?
probably pretty soon, but if you're doing independent stuff, you might be able to find a little better, cheaper overseas, but honestly, they're all kind of competitive in rates. Here's the thing: when you go looking for a colorist, you might see a colorist on somebody else and think they're going to look really awesome on you, and then they color your stuff and it doesn't look awesome. That's happened a lot to other cartoonists I know and other pencilers, so it's really weird, and that's how come like a lot of times I try to work with the same colorist over and over if I can, just because I see them on somebody else doesn't mean they're going to be a great fit on me. It just never works out that way.
So this is why we've been having colorists do sample pages, and this is also why the search has been taking some time.
There's no simple answer for it, unfortunately, because it was some artist, I think it was like Andy Kubert. He really wanted to work with Jay Lee's colors for the longest time. And then they finally worked together on some Black Panther covers, and he hated it. But he saw it on that one artist, and he loved it. So it's weird. It's sometimes modeling's a bigger issue on some artists than others. You're talking about for Charlie, though?
Yeah, you want to give us if we show a page, do you think you can?
No, I've seen his stuff before. The thing is the more line artwork you have, sometimes the flatter, or not flatter, but less model colorist works better. It depends. Like, I don't know. Like if you took like
old model colorist,
like a number 10, like, you know, like I want the whole AAT going on, like that type of model colors. No, you know, more rendering, you know, like, you know, sometimes like I don't think you have to commit 100%. You can just take less rendering if you have more line artwork. Like if you do more with hatching and stuff like that, if you're handling more of the modeling in your line artwork, because I know it was somebody like, I think Lee Weeks actually starts putting down like gray tones, and then the colors just kind of, at that point you can almost just flat color that, like I mean, because he already did all the tones. Yeah. So it really depends on how much. That's why especially today with everybody doing like some tones, different lines, different degrees of line artwork. There's a different answer for everybody. Plus, even then, like you want color palettes that sometimes it's the project too. Like you guys have a sci-fi book, so I see you come across a lot of colors. If they come across a weird, like if they don't have a good sense of coloring, like technique and stuff, they end up using purples and pinks all the time, which I don't like myself. Like I don't like those, but see, on the sci-fi book that stuff works in really well. So
well, they're the Blade Runner colors, right? But I've heard people in comics call them the bi colors, the fuchsia
bisexual lighting.
Yeah.
I never heard it. It's so bizarre. It's just Blade Runner.
Well, we didn't call it that. It was brought to our attention that that's what it was called through some article or something.
I thought Ethan had made it up, but no, it's something.
No, it's an SJW thing.
SJWs have claimed themselves. Yeah.
Oh, they called it that themselves?
Yeah.
They tried to claim that lighting. You know how they claim everything, so they give it some stupid name that nobody likes. Yeah. It confuses everyone.
Dale A in the chat says Clint's lighting is gray.
Yeah.
Yeah, your lighting's like medicine tablet. It's like Tic Tac. It's like a white Tic Tac. Like,
is it my camera or is it because I'll turn off the light? Do you guys even have lighting?
Yeah, dude, right here.
Okay.
I mean, if you were a chick doing makeup tutorials, you'd be so hot right now.
But because I'm a man with a gut, not so much.
Ooh, look at Charlie Snowgan's dramatic lighting.
Man.
Into the dark.
Super villain lighting.
I should just.
I'll get you next time, Gadget.
You hold a flashlight under your chin and go, "I'm the leprechaun."
You gotta get deeper into the crevasse.
What if I'm putting a red box on the screen and I'm gonna shine it into my own face?
That's a whole lot better. Now turn your overhead light off.
Oh, now me and Vaughn are both deep in the well.
Is this really better? All right,
let the ritual begin.
Okay, I'm staring at a red screen right now. Hold on, let me turn off the light.
My monitors are too bright.
Can you reach Houdini?
This is the all-important part of the show, guys, where we all adjust our monitors. Yeah, now the party can really begin.
Oh, that looks terrible. Now I can.
Clint, you're like a beautiful girl on Instagram with the filter. Oh yeah, blow it out.
Clint, say it puts the lotion in the basket. It puts the lotion in the basket.
Gets the hose right.
Gets the hose again.
It puts the comics in the basket, or it gets the hose. Put the comics in the basket.
This doesn't look at. Is it possible that some faces just, it doesn't matter what lighting you have?
You look very dramatic, my friend. Very dramatic.
Could be worse. Yeah. Blair Witch. I could talk down my nose the whole time. That would work.
Yeah, we don't need the nostril shot. So anyway, we're doing a sci. It's not so much a sci-fi book though. It's a
space opera.
It's a space. It's more. We're not going to be worried about the technical readouts on the googly mooglies. We're just, it's going to be running scene to scene, blowing holes in lizards. They're just space lizards,
Yeah.
I did run into a problem though with, which was funny because it was a guy I'd worked with for years, And he was like, "Oh, I saw you were Comicsgate. I need to wag your finger at you and all this stuff at me for like a paragraph and gave me a speech." And then I put out my trailer, and I think he thought like I was going to ask him to work on my book, and then I didn't, and then it got really awkward, like because it was really weird. Like I guess he assumed that, but my point with that is like I guess you really need to be upfront with the people you do ask or work with, that they're not misinformed that if you're CG affiliated or any of that jazz. Because to me, that's a nightmare if you do find somebody and you get matched up and everything, and then they walk off mid-project and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I want my team to have plausible deniability, so I don't tell them shit.
You can always disavow me, I guess.
No, I think they know. I think they know.
Yeah.
I know, Vaughn.
Comic skater.
No,
I know.
I was asking some letterers, and they were like, "Oh man, nothing personal, but you're kind of, like if you're doing comics." Yeah. So then I was John Malin. I think it was John Malin, which is like, just ask Eric Weathers. Okay.
I think Eric Weathers is the guy putting a bad word on the street just to keep him full of water.
He's poisoning the well.
I had my logo on my book. The letter that designed the logo actually pulled it, so I had to get it redone. So it happens.
Yeah. Damn. Oh man, it's just weird. Pretty soon though,
I love it.
I
love being a controversial artist. I've always wanted to grow up to be a controversial artist, and I finally fucking am. Thank you.
That I witnessed this debate the other day with my wife. Okay, so when I first went to art school, they were like, "Look, okay, you got in because you passed your portfolio review. You want to be an artist, but there's two types of artists. There's an artist that's artist for your personal whatever, your fee-fees, whatever, and then there's a commercial artist." And then today I was like thinking, like, when did this all get like muddled up? Like, it's not about being a commercial artist anymore and being a storyteller or being whatever or work for a hire guy. Now it's political. Like that was a thing. That was the first day of artist boot camp, whatever you want to do, where it was like you're going to have to sometimes draw things you don't want to draw for money. And sometimes business is business. If that's the job, you do it. And there's, basically two type art. Now it's like, I don't know if that speech holds up. Was there like 3 types of artists now, like commercial artist, and then somebody that tries to, corrupt the commercial storytelling thing with their fees. I don't know.
Well, they've corrupted everything with the fees, right? Sports.
Yeah.
Every
hobby.
Yeah.
Every comedy. I saw this great video, but it's comedians against comedy. Have you guys seen that? It's like this little internet skit, and it's so true too. It's like it's all the comedians that are going around deciding that you can't say certain things, you can't say anything. I don't know. It is just pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, it's before I was allowed to graduate film school, there was this class that I held off on taking because every time anyone mentioned it, it was in this really like hushed, ominous tone. Like, you're going to take culture, race, and media, right? And like it ended up being the SJW indoctrination class that they're pumping out kids who are, that's my school was for film, and every one of us were going into or trying to get into like music, television, film, whatever, video games. The school pumps us out and it makes you take these indoctrination courses, and the kids seem to believe it. I was a little older. And I was just like, this is a bunch of bullshit. Yeah. But like the kids were really susceptible to it. Understandable. Yeah. So it's freaky. And they go out to the world and bring this culture and this way of looking at art with them. And
what else it made you separate was, I don't know if this is before or after, but you've had tons of different jobs. So you take these standard ideas and you go out into the world and you test them. And you go, well, that didn't work, and that didn't work, and nobody's like that, and nobody's like that. And then you go to the film school, and then they lay that shit on you, and you say, wait, none of that makes any sense. That's all bullshit.
Yeah,
it's not the world.
It's made up in a like classroom. It's this weird sterile setting that has no link to the real world. And the thing that they're doing now, so it used to be there was that one class, like when I was going through college, I'd always say, it's one of those classes where they try and indoctrinate you. Now it's every class. And I see a lot of the curriculum and stuff that comes through courses by semester, and it's like, hey, we're here to learn about intro to engineering and social justice. We're going to learn about intro to photography and social justice. We're going to learn about intro.
Yeah.
I'm not even joking. It is
That's hardcore.
so bad. It's everywhere. I look around and I'm like, what is going on?
I went to
They
college.
turned up the heat.
I went to college before I joined the Army, and then I went to college after I dropped out midway through. And I said, I'm going to join the Army. And I like Band of Brothers. I'm going to join the infantry. That was fun.
You're crazy, man.
I hated college so much I dropped out twice. Let's just put it that way. I went in afterwards, and it was a completely different point of view from my own head. And I just went. I mean, I was in graphic design, and I wouldn't even say our professors were super political. I'll say political because not a lot of that stuff was talked about. People were like, Bush sucks," but from my point of view, like I just saw how stupid all these kids were. Like, you guys are idiots.
What were the years, Eric? What was the years that you were first in, and what was the years that you came back in?
02 to 04, and then 06 to 06.
That's that's how you get a degree. 06 to 06.
I don't have a degree.
he dropped out. He didn't like it.
Twice.
Oh, you
got
got
a
it for the second time.
Degree in lettering now.
Yeah, I got it
From the School of Hard Knocks.
from the school, the comic state school of street lettering.
School of carpal tunnel. Anyway, so
I mean, $20 is $20, right?
I was thinking about that though. Like, if they're all creating with the same lens that everything needs to be politicized and everything needs to like represent a identity and a special voice and what all that horse shit. Like, if everything's going to be the same, nothing will be diverse because everything else is frowned upon. Like, they're gonna stifle expression. And like, I don't care if you're on the left or right, you should be against that, especially if you're in the arts. Like, you should not be helping them turn the arts into just activist like crap only. That's only one small expression. It's very narrow-minded, and it rules that are always changing, and it's creepy, and you get canceled like that. It's just a horrible, like, cancerous thing that gets into what you love and spreads out from there because nobody wants to be called a racist or a sexist. You got to be with the group, and that's how they get you in, and then probably destroy you if they don't like you that day. It's messed up, and it is killing our arts. It is killing storytelling. I'm big on storytelling, and I wanted to teach it in college. I was working on a degree to start teaching it, and it's gonna hurt something within our souls, I think, as humans, if we turn stories into like, now be a good little boy and like, worship the other little boy because of his identity. It's getting bizarre. We're losing something that's important to humanity and to our culture. And I guess that's part of why I try to write really cool stuff. Sorry.
It's disguised. No, you're totally right. It's disguised as social commentary, I think. But the thing is, like, especially in comics, like, if you're trying to say the same message that has been said by countless other people before you, then it just becomes you're listing talking points. Like, you're not actually saying something different or unique or making, you know what I mean? You're not adding to anything. It's just you're reciting what you think you ought to recite. So I don't know. It gets old.
The problem is entertainment taking a backseat to it. I mean, of course, putting that stuff up front, but nobody's nobody's first making a rough draft of anything, saying what's a good idea, what's entertaining, what's what's I don't know, escapism, whatever. At first, it seems like, what's our quota for, diversity check marks or, that, and then like, well, what do we want to, what type of agenda are we trying to enforce into somebody? Then we need to work that into the story, and then what? How do you make those two things entertaining, or whatever? So it's strange.
How do you write the story around this point of view instead of just? I just kind of want to tell a cool story, and not worry about cooties. That's all it is. Like, people are freaking out about cooties these days. It's just cooties. Like, nobody taught them that cooties aren't real and you're not going to get sick from them.
Yeah, because ultimately, like, that's all I hear about. It's who you associate with. Not like there's the crazy people saying you're a Nazi, and nobody, like, I remember when someone asked Sean Gordon Murphy on Twitter, "Is Ethan Van Sciver a Nazi?" And he said, "No, of course not." And he was like, he actually said that, and I was like, wow, what a fantastic progress, for mankind. But the thing is, it's like you have the crazy people that will say such extreme things, and then everybody else has to find a reason why those extreme things are correct, even though you can't. I think a normal person can't, in good conscience, actually say, I actually think this person is a Nazi, or so on and so on. So instead, they're going to be like, well, they associate with this bad person who associates with that bad person, and then it just becomes tribalism. Like, it's nothing to do with, I don't know. It's just crazy. It is cooties.
Somebody brought this up the other day, but it's like we're losing definition of a lot of words. So Nazi means probably to somebody out there, they're like, no, he is a Nazi, and fuck you, SJM, for SGM for not saying that. But the issue is some kid or some body believes that the term Nazi means something else now. And racism, like calling somebody a racist, I think the definition of that's changed a little bit too. There was a couple of these I came across the other day, and I think people have been, it started with Nazi, people just calling people a Nazi. And it's like, it's a disservice to actual, like, the war crimes Nazis did, because we start to forget the big bad guy and the genocide and all these things. And now you just call somebody who votes for somebody you don't like, or who's conservative, you just call them a Nazi. And it's like, that's not what a Nazi is. That term used to mean something.
Yeah, I mean, it's Godwin's law on steroids.
Do you guys ever, do you guys know who Jonathan Haidt is, or you follow him at all? He's super smart dude. He works in academia, and he talks about this stuff all the time. He's got to be like
the coddling of the American mind.
Yes, yeah, smart dude. But yeah, he calls it concept creep, where they change the definition. So yeah, like racism, for it power plus privilege or something. It had nothing to do with just thinking one race is better than another race, inherently superior or whatever. They changed the definition. Concept creep. I killed the conversation too.
Yeah, you did. Good going.
Well, it's similar to Slippery Slope.
Yeah.
But with concepts, right? That's sort of what he's getting at.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And
if you can change what violence means, like your words are violence, now you can justify all sorts of things to go against, you know what I mean? Like Eric right now is being violent toward me.
It's true.
Just look at him. Just look at him.
Therefore,
just look at him.
Well, didn't they do that with Warren Ellis?
They did. You're
in a weird roundabout way. I don't think they used a word, but they kind of bent some of his actions into things they generally aren't categorized as.
So sexual assault. Is it assaulting someone sexually, or is it having two consenting adults, but one of them is seen as in a position of power? Do you know what I mean? Like they have this whole roundabout way to justify what it is.
I mean, it's unwanted flirting. Is sexual assault these days.
Warren Ellis did nothing wrong. Okay, Warren Ellis, he ghosted some chicks. Okay, it happens, and they're like, "You misused your power. You should have used your power to love me and get my career in the forefront, Mr. Abuser." Like, come on, I'm over it.
So I don't have anything to bring to that part of the conversation. Vaughn's always on point with the Monty Python female voice. I love that.
I wonder what's going to happen with Warren Ellis, if he's going to try some independent books, because I think his Hollywood stuff is probably going to dry up real quick.
That's not cool.
I don't
They're
know.
hurting a good writer.
Maybe he'll just launch a crowdfunding campaign. I don't know. Pretty soon,
That
everyone's
guy
going to be doing
made so many SJW careers, though. Like, the vultures you raised have come back to peck on your bones, man. How's that for poetic? No, I love Warren Ellis, though, and but he did bring us, well, people that there's writers that he brought us that people probably like in here. I don't know. It depends on your taste. Matt Fraction, who of course brought in Kelly Sue DeConnick. And then who else? Yeah, there's a few other, but he brought in some writers that some people have enjoyed and like their work. That's cool if you like it. But they were, they were kind of part of they were a little more SJW, and to see them turn on him like this is the part that just freaks me out. That's what they do. What they do.
There's no friendship. There's no true friendship.
He helped them, man.
Yeah.
While we're talking
What are
about
we looking at?
the failures of the comic book industry, this is a page.
Fatal.
Fatal.
I love that bad transitions are my thing, and I'm kind of just leaning into it.
Well, let me
And
complete the transition. While you're talking about failures of the comic book industry, let's talk about a future success of the comic book industry, which is this page 6 of Fatal that I'm putting colors to because I thought it needs color, and this was a page I liked with some nice action.
So who colored this? You colored this, Charlie?
I'm coloring it. I'm not a colorist.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. Like, if you color enough of these pages, pretty much whoever you hire is going to have to match up in a way. But are you getting these flatted, or are you doing it yourself?
I drew it and then I colored it. I don't even.
he's flatting it himself.
Some people, if you can get a flatter fairly cheap, and a lot of people, they speed up with that quite a bit. So it might be manageable for you if you outsource it to be flat.
I have a good flatter that's cheap, and he loves to work.
Does he also believe in the flat Earth theory? Because those are the only types I work with.
That's a requirement. Yeah.
That's my political agenda.
Well, you can ask him. He's
Get
really
out of here,
into
the
flat
bloody
things.
round earthers.
Yeah.
This is a cool page from Fatal. This is not finished coloring yet. It looks finished to my untrained eye, but it looks awesome. This first panel, Charlie, is this inspired at all from some
Go closer and ask.
classic art? What's that?
The first panel, the tall one.
Second panel. This top one with him.
Well, that looks like
No,
Atlas.
I made it 100%. It's just him. He's in the previous page 5. He is underneath this beast that he's surprised that it's coming up to him. Zoom in on it because I do like that one too. It looks as though he's really feeling the weight of this heavy monstrosity that he's shoulder tossing from underneath it, and he's in the previous page. He does have his hand on the bottom of its jaws, preventing it from snapping at him, and he's firing his laser. So in the first panel, they're on top of that floating barge, and you see his laser blasts coming out from all the top of it, and then he flips over and tries to toss it, and he does toss it over his shoulder, and it's snarling and disgusting. And then it's called punitive withdraw. If you go down one more frame where he's running away, firing his his laser, and he's running away, and he's got something in his left hand, and he jumps over the edge of the barge and tosses the grenade thing, thermo detonator, whatever you want to call it, and it blows up behind him, and he's over the side of the barge, and then stuff happens on the side of the barge. But yeah, I like that first panel where there's weight. It feels weighty.
So it's not. So it reminds me of, what is it, Atlas, the guy that's holding the world?
Yep.
It reminds me of that, even though it's not at all the same pose, but it's the same energy. I don't know. Like there's something.
Atlas energy. He should
Yeah.
say that in the book.
It's cool.
That's cool,
I'm
man.
so excited about this. I was trying to go through it because my wife was like, we were looking through it together, and I was like, what's your favorite page? Like, what would you put at the top of this campaign? And we had the darndest time deciding what's the best page. Which is
Obviously
a good problem.
mine. I mean,
Obviously Eric's. I think actually at the moment I think the one that's completely lettered is at the top. Who knows? I just was like, I'll throw it up there because it's finished. But man, so cool. I think people
It's
should
really-
read this book.
really good.
Shane, does your wife color your pages? I'm starting to see.
No, we have a colorist in Malaysia we're working with. I've worked with her a little bit before, so we wanted to work with her because a lot of our book has to do with Singapore. It takes place in Singapore, and Malaysia connects to Singapore. They used to be the same continent not continent, but country at one point in time. So
Thanks, global warming.
yeah. So it's going okay. We're co-writing it together, and she did some of the initial cat designs. My wife draws a little bit, but she's been inking my stuff for a while, so we are working together, and that it just helps speed things up if I don't do the inks.
Do you always do that? You pencil and she inks?
We have been for a while now, probably about 2 years, probably, but
That is beautiful.
not
Yeah.
really. We don't get away from each other enough. That's the issue.
I've heard of some other people doing that as well. Freddie Williams and his wife do that too. It's an effective way to get the pages done.
Well, it forces me to stop to hand it off to her. But then if there's something I don't like or she has a question, I can either just jump in and ink that face or ink that one bit or that effect myself rather than when you work with somebody and you're in two different locations. If there's a question, you're really not there. Or you have to touch it up digitally or something like that. So, and I mess a lot more with digital inks a little bit, like effects and stuff. So we both do. So, but yeah, that's my wife inked that. Me and her both. I kind of feathered a lot of the cat's faces, and then she inked the rest of it. So some of the, like, every now and then I will come across something that she's not too familiar with, like a texture or something, and I'll show her how I do it, and then she'll watch my my flick of the wrist or whatever, and then she'll start to emulate it. So it's kind of weird. It's what is that thing we used to have back in the day, like an apprenticeship? I guess we started off kind of like that. So a lot of my inking technique, she sort of just picked up from watching me do it. So it's a nice transition.
Nice.
Marriage
Well,
and
look,
work.
cool.
There's no better marriage than earning money together. That's beautiful.
Well, yeah, but I don't know. You guys are boxing me in here where like I'm recorded, so it's like I'm like, all right, how do I answer that? Yeah, no, it's great. No, we work great together. We work great together. So, I mean, we're butting heads on our tiers and
It's
perks
only
and stuff
natural.
like right now. No, well, we're putting our campaign together. And she's like, well, we're going to do this big box set here, and I want to add this pin in there. And I'm like, but that pin's going to cost money. Well, not a box set, but like one tier where you get everything together. And I'm like, well, why don't we save that pin for somewhere else? And she's just like, but I want it. And I'm like, but
Make that pin a stretch goal.
Well, that's what I said. I'm like, we'll
Yeah.
use it as a stretch goal. But she's like, no, I want it in that tier that if you buy that, it's the only way you get it. And I'm like,
Well, you can
so-
still do that.
Yeah. That's what we were arguing about last night. So you guys caught me at a weird time. I'm in the doghouse because I'm arguing about giveaways and stuff like that. So
No, but me and Clint were arguing about tiers, and we slept in separate beds last night too.
I wondered how that panned out.
I just hate it when you two fight. It makes me sad.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. We get in camera together sometimes, and she boxes me into a fight. So it's funny. She
Air
the
the
chat
grievances?
likes it. The chat likes
Air the
it,
grievances, man.
I was gonna say that's
Right?
good for YouTube.
Yeah.
You're like
but,
you're like Carvel and Mary Maitland. Is that their name? Carvel, James Carvel.
That's a
Maitland?
deep reference that I don't think anybody gets.
yeah, you lost me on that.
the Democrat and Republican strategists that are married.
Oh,
James
I do.
Carville, James
James
Carville
Carville.
was Clinton's strategist, and
He
Mary
looks like a
Maitland
human
was Bush's
snake.
strategist. Dennis Miller has the best line on him. He looks like a Muppet that was washed on hot.
I love that.
And Mary Maitland also, she's an older lady. She looks sort of like she just stepped out of Lord of the Rings. She shouldn't escape, insult if he is too. And the two of them, I think there was a show about them because they're totally opposite and they're great together. It works.
There was a song,
that's
a
sort
little
of
bit country, a little bit rock and roll.
yes.
Mm.
Well, that's sort of why I don't want to color my own work because I sort of really enjoy seeing it pass through somebody else's hands and something magical happens. And it looks like you got it right there with that very nice image, the cover of Starlight Cats #1.
Oh, thanks. I drawing kids is hard, and I'm like about 6 pages into this, and I regret it already. Drawing kids is one of those things like you'll draw a kid one time, and you're like, I got it, I pulled it off, and it's like now you got to do it a million other times. So,
Damn.
I'm feeling the same thing. The opening to Battle Brick Road, Dorothy's like 5 or 6 years old, and it's like, I got kids. I guess I can kind of get some
Just draw your
reference.
kids, man. Just draw your
Aren't
kids.
Aren't they just
I don't
like
have
a
girls.
huge adult head on like a tiny little body?
No. Joe Kubert explained it to me one time. It's actually bizarre, and so what it is the skull, right? The base of the skull is roughly, of course, it grows a little bit, but proportionally at a certain age, the jaw is really small. And it's the jaw and everything growing that kind of, so the weird map that we use when we draw figures of a human head size, that's out the door. So first, their proportions are really weird. You have to kind of build a model sheet and stick to that. Because if you look at like kids, their skulls are all kind of different sizes and shapes. Even if they're in the same, I know that sounds like I'm killing kids at the playground or something. Somebody's going to clip that. But it's true. So it's like
your kids'
jaw
skulls.
grows. There's a point in time in certain ages where it's the jaw growing, not the base of the skull. It's really weird. He explained there's an actual like physical math, but the problem that makes it so weird is when you look at something and you're like, what's the proportion of that? How tall is that guy? You mentally do it based off their head because we all look at everybody's face. Yeah. There it is. See? There you go.
Yeah.
Is that a Kubert book? Is that Kubert?
Yeah, that's Kubert. Yeah.
Comics. So, yeah, he has it written in here.
See,
The man.
I don't kill kids in the playground. See, Eric's got proof. All kids' skulls are different.
That was quite a powerful denunciation of child
I'm
murder.
going to make that book. All kids' skulls are different by Von Klaus.
But it's weird. Drawing cats that much is kind of weird too. Animals are weird. Like I don't know if you guys. I know you have your sci-fi book, but every now and then whenever I have an environment, I try to put an animal in the corner of the panel of establishing shot to try to either say if it's a hot or cold environment. So I don't know if you guys are doing that. I know you have lizards and stuff like that, but are you guys making up like little alien animals or anything like that?
I had
Well,
Clint. Do you have the 2-page spread?
gross.
There's
Really
sort
looks-
of animals in
Kid
there.
teeth.
I
So
saw
this
some
is what
snakes.
This
Double
you
page
said
spread.
kid skulls, and I'm always reminded of these skulls where you get to see their adult teeth up in their jawline, X-rays and whatnot.
It is
So weird.
It's some Monster MD reference here.
Yeah.
This
I've
kid's
looked
gonna
at
need
this.
braces.
okay.
It's creepy.
Okay.
Dude. It's really creepy.
Yeah.
Here's a
It's
double page spread.
Oh.
Is this what you're talking about, Charlie?
If you zoom way in on there,
Dude, that's pretty.
Wait.
There's a mouse in the corner.
No, if you go down to the bottom right,
Walled out.
there's there's a couple on the bottom or all the way to the right. They have what would be sort of a dog, but it's the lizard too.
Oh,
I just put
It's
space
amazing.
lizards everywhere.
that's cool.
Probably hard
Yeah.
to see.
Yeah, because that's
see.
not a high res on the campaign page, is it?
I-
Draft.
Yeah, this is lower res, but also we're running it through the stream too, which I think is making it even worse.
It doesn't help.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I haven't done it.
I
don't
got an
have one so
email
far.
from StreamYard, and they said that they were going to upgrade their stream to 1080p, but it hasn't. I don't see that on when I try to stream. Did you get that option?
I don't know if you have to pay. I still do the free thing because I'm cheap. I
It's
guess.
free.
I pay, and I
Free?
don't see that option.
I
I'm
don't
getting
know.
hosed.
Mm.
Reset. There we go.
I need
Yeah.
some more of those repercussions or whatever they're called.
Repercussions.
Hmm.
All right. Yeah. More like faddle, someone says. Okay.
Battle, baby.
Ale.
Fickle. And maybe that's yeah.
That's
Alright.
that's Philip. Alien termination and logistics.
Yeah.
Yep. His brother, his asshole brother.
Yeah.
Philip.
Well,
Fat, Fattle Brick Road.
Fattle
works.
MD.
Well, Fatal's launching tomorrow. It's launching well, depending, it'll be around noon Eastern Standard Time. I'm gonna do a stream. I don't know if you guys are working during the day or busy, but I will send a link to the usual crew.
Awesome.
We'll see who can show up, and should be a great day, especially if Charlie shows up. I think it'll be a great day.
Oh, look, there he is. Speaking of the devil.
There he is.
Clint, now at the beginning of the
Think of the
stream,
Anton
I was already I'm feeling very anxious. Can you give me a script for a marbled mouthed moron so that I could stumble my way through pitches?
Oh, a pitch? Well, that's the nice thing is that I have it written down at the top of the campaign page. So if you want, you just read that. And that's usually kind of what I do at first.
That's a pretty good go-to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Keeps
You
you
mean the thing that everyone can say?
your cheat sheet.
Just say that. Just say that.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. And we'll
It
just show
helps.
them things, but
It helps.
I have a few different versions.
But-
Here's one. It goes
But oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Here's a pitch. Okay. A desperate financial situation leads Flynn, an alien exterminator, to follow a distress call from a posh planet of sycophants. When Flynn learns that the people's minds have also been invaded, Flynn is stranded and running out of options. He must choose to save the survivors or escape. Dun dun dun.
With his life.
or without. I don't know. How could you escape without your life? I don't know.
Yes. It's called dying.
Yeah,
That's an escape. Damn.
that's
So
true.
I was thinking, man, what I was going to say was when you pitch this, figure out ways to make it your own. And what you need to do when you pitch is make people as excited about the book as you are. Like they need to understand how cool this is. So like get them excited, get them involved, kick that ass.
The one thing you don't want to do though is ramble on a pitch, that's the only reason why I would say make sure you have a plan. Because you probably have seen, I've seen it all the time. Someone gets on a stream to promote their book and they sort of just go off and then they start going on tangents about whatever the cucumbers, reminds them of a story, this kind of thing. I'm not saying that you would do this, Charlie, but I'm just saying.
No, that's all I do. All I do is
Have you heard him talk?
Charlie knows Charlie, okay?
Now he's trying to quell his desire to tell you about his cucumber story.
Yeah.
I don't want to tell you about my cucumber while I'm trying to sell you a comic.
No, you can do that, but the first thing you got to do is just keep it focused on the story. Something. I mean, there are different schools of thought that I've looked up on pitching, but I think Vaughn's right in that ultimately you just want to make it sound cool.
Do you want to know what I would want from your campaign that you don't have to do it all? I want quotes that are cool from your main protagonist guy, like throughout the campaign. like maybe even open it with a cool one-liner. If you're there and you got those really solid one-liners, I think those are part of the fun of the style of book you're making. And they'd be cool to see them throughout, like as a little detail. I don't know.
That's cool. I have to look at it. We're launching tomorrow, so I'm not gonna. I don't know how much.
I want to get to know his character.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I want to get into
Vaughn,
Flynn. Flynn.
After the trailer, the voice when I'm drawing him now is now your voice with
yes,
Clint Ward.
dude.
Mm.
Okay.
It's now.
It's a job.
It's a job.
It's a job.
Let's suit up.
Okay.
Okay.
I still like the one where he says, "If you need aliens," what was it? I can't remember the line. If you need aliens,
If you need your aliens dead, this is.
Yeah, that's it.
A commercial that would be fun to make, huh?
Where he's holding up a business card. It was a sketch that a really rough one that I made where he's holding up the card real close to camera, and he's in there and he says it's got the book logo up in there.
That's cool.
You know, he's got his gun and behind him is all the dead aliens. And it's essentially a raid commercial. Right? If you've got aliens, you need them to get fatal. And there it is up there. Get fatal.
Like a local, your local
and with
plumber
a phone,
commercial
with the phone number across the bottom.
Mm.
With but in alien language, right?
One time I was really baked at my buddy's house and a raid commercial came on and I was like, dude, did we just watch a commercial for genocide? And he was like, yeah, we did. And like, if you guys don't mention the word genocide and fatal, I'm going to be so upset with you. Like, it needs to be funny that this guy's job is genocide.
Yeah, kids love genocide.
Yeah, let's teach them.
Love genocide. Back fatal today.
Well, that, and the other thing, there was have the number on there, 1-800-777 get fatal, and then underneath it something, offer does not apply in the outer rim. One of those, the whole disclaimer.
You can get a Google Voice number for free and set a message that Vaughn can record that says you've reached Flint's blah 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 blah. Make sure you check out the camp. Like, you should totally do that on that card.
I got it better than that. You need to make a fake Yelp review on this guy.
Yes,
I love that.
You can make a whole line of fake Yelp reviews of all people dissatisfied because he was surly. He kept cursing at us.
Yeah, and then you have all of these alien races that sign up and give him 1-star reviews because they completely decimated their population.
Yeah, like they're like left our planet in ruins. Would not recommend.
He killed all of my brothers and sisters, and he showed his genitals to my cousin. It was horrible.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's not incompetent.
I love all these marketing ideas
the
we have that we come up with the night before.
I know. I'm like,
no, but it's cool because you have a long road ahead.
It's hard.
You've got a long road ahead, dude. You're gonna kill it. You're gonna kill it, and these ideas can be done later. It's cool.
Yeah, campaigns. They can go a while. I don't know, man. Charlie's he's an animal. He's burning through pages. We're like 20-something pages into this thing.
That's great.
Yeah, we'd be farther if I wasn't coloring them.
I know.
How many pages is the first?
Take a color break.
Yeah, he just wanted to get some into the campaign, but
yeah.
How many pages is the first book? Are you guys doing the 48 standard or?
We're doing 52 because
52?
that's my standard.
I like that.
Okay.
I did that the first time, and now I've been doing more of it. But yeah, I think we're like if we do well, we've got stretch goals. We can add some more pages.
That and the story is. It's large. It's a large story.
It is.
Well, I know some people don't say go over it because you could just go into your second book, the big. So I don't know. There's different ideas, and then some people just want to do what the story, needs. So
yeah,
I say for your first one, set it how you want, and then based on that success, you can tell other stories even outside of that main page count, like Ethan's doing. He's got ash cans and backup stories. Zach does that. I'm doing that. Vaughn's done that. So I think it's a good way, and it's also good for you to get more of your story out there without putting all the work in yourself. You can hire another artist to do something for you. It's a good way to get more lore out there for the fans.
I want to make every book 88 pages just to trigger people, because that's like an equal number, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. For some reason, that's a
Hitler we don't even know why, because we're such supremacists.
Because it's the 8th letter of the alphabet is some nonsense. So
Hail Hitler.
Downcast is 88 pages long total. Because I wanted to try it, but I'm like, I actually like this format. 88 pages is like, I don't know.
How thick? Show me the thickness of that bad boy.
This is thick paper too. I don't know if anybody's gotten one yet. They should be arriving like anytime, but it doesn't look much, but it's surprisingly thick actually.
Yeah, I mean it's thick, but it's not 228 pages thick.
Oh, now we're pulling those out.
That's true.
Okay.
Eric has me beat there. His is thick with 2 C's. This is, but yeah, the pages, just the paper stock's pretty thick. So it's the same as the first Downcast.
So are you guys wanting to do more books? Or are you gonna just see how it does and then decide from there if you want to just do other projects, or what's the plan with Fatal?
I think there's a lot of, we got to see how it does. I think.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, the plan here is we'll do the book. I think to me, Fatal is a big story. And there could be, the cool thing about it is it could be very episodic. Saying that right? You could go to a new planet. There's new things. There's tons of stuff you can do, but it's also like, well, let's take one step at a time and sort of see, how it does. So.
Yeah, and not only that, each scene. I mean, there's a scene where what you've seen mostly is the guy fighting the lizard that's just out on this barge, and then one of the pages is it flips and zooms past the explosions of the guy on the barge fighting lizards, and it's the 2 girls looking up from their tower in this aristocratic bureaucratic setting. And the girl's in the lap of luxury, and she's there with her the young lady who guards her, and her lady's maid, who's also her Secret Service, and she has to navigate her way back through that sort of swanky party, up the steps, and then they're gonna go out and meet up with that adventure. I was drawing her. She's got to get past a guard. She's flirting with him. I got 20 pages that I could draw, or we could just skip right to them flying out the window. So we consider pacing, we'll consider, because you could take 10 seconds of somebody's life, and if you're talking about it, the idea of filmmaking or drama is slow down the tense moment to seconds and seconds and seconds, could be pages, or just get through it and get them out. Get the plot moving,
And there's a sort of a push and pull. You know what I mean? You want to speed it up, slow it down, sort of depending. You want it to. Have you ever read a book or watched a movie that was breakneck speed from beginning to end? It kind of wears you out.
Yeah, Gravity was that way.
Yeah, that's true. That one. Yeah, it was it was a train wreck constantly.
About 45 minutes in, I got tired of it. And I was like, oh, okay.
It wears you out.
Way. Yeah.
So that's like the quiet moments of like the party scene, like you're talking about, or I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because they're in that party scene, and I wanted to draw. Initially, I was thinking I'll draw lots of images of the other revelers who were sitting there drinking and in the debauchery, and look at them through that. And once it came to the execution, it was really just move the girls through the party and get them out. And I drew it that way, and I thought, I wanted to draw more of that stuff, but I don't know. It's sort of, could we slow it all down that much just to enjoy a couple people sucking on the straws of some cocktail?
So who dealt with that stuff a lot in comics was Frank Miller. If you look at his Sin City stuff, like if you look at each trade, the pacing's kind of different each one, and but he also would take drag out some scenes and either deal with, like, say that I think of that woman swimming, and that I don't remember which book that is, where she's like hitting the water and there's ripples and all this stuff. A really slow scene showing a woman's body in water and all, ink effects. Like, if that wasn't done in that type of ink effect thing, I think the charm would be lost. But even like the Yellow Bastard one, I was thinking of it when you were talking about all that. But you know what Frank also did is he had all that heavy dialogue and monologue from the heroes, that kind of also filled up the page. But I don't know, if you look at his body of work in his career, he was always messing with pacing and different types of pacing. If you look at some of his Daredevil stuff or Elektra Lives Again and stuff like that. So he's like a weird guy that I think in Western comics stretched and pushed and pulled different pacing techniques. But some of those guys were also not worried about page counts. I don't even think those Sin City trades are all the same page count. They're all different.
No. Well, I mean, we're not either at this point. We're not.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be 23. It doesn't have to be per month. We're just gonna we're gonna do exactly what feels right. But at a certain point, is it indulgent of me to just, I want to hit this cocktail party from every angle as the girls move through it, or just get them up and get them out, right?
You got to figure, is that cocktail party is important to the overall story?
Yeah.
Just
be willing to kill your darling, Charlie.
The other thing is, as I'm going through this, after years of drawing advertising, and you're just drawing, here's reality, here's reality, here's reality. When you're drawing if you're drawing a comic book that's in New York City and it's the year 2020, you just draw the world. If you're drawing a book that's on another planet and everybody might be a different alien creature, the world building takes a lot of time. So then you say, well, does a doorway look like this? Are they just going to wear slacks? I haven't drawn anyone with just a suit. So every time I draw a guy, I don't just put a suit on him, because that's what I'm really good at, drawing dudes in suits, man. I've been drawing that for years. But every time I draw a dude, I'm gonna, if you look at, there's a woman, she's actually a cat, and she's got giant collar that's coming cutting down through her suit, and she's talking to her, and everybody that I'm drawing, I'm thinking, well, is there an air tube on his back? Every single figure. So it's not even just, well, it'll take a long time to draw a crowd scene. Well, it'll also take a long time because it's a crowd scene and there might be aliens I've never seen before. So everything's world building. It's another extra layer of time.
I had a cheat sheet for that situation when I was working on Mysteries in Space, because it was like I only had one human in the whole book and everybody else was aliens in a space city. So I would keep everything from like National Geographic, like animal books, to like Star Wars books, to like all this animation books. And it's because I was on the deadline, I didn't have much choice. But the one thing that helped me a lot with aliens is just flipping through a book and seeing like a weird, bizarre bat creature and looking at, because so much of nature already does so much of the hard lifting with designing aliens. And if you look at some of the Lucas stuff, they actually pull a lot from nature too, because of environments and stuff. But if you can pull from an animal, a bizarre animal or something like that, and take some of that and make into an alien, you already have like say like the skull, the eye sockets figured out, the way the mandible or the jawbone or whatever works, and then you can actually take that and mix with different colors, and then before you know it, you just have a weird thing. And that was the thing that would get me out of a bind the most whenever I had like a crowd scene of aliens. Was just doing that. And even though I would make it humanoid, just taking some of those features from a weird creature, or a real animal, because I think it also helped me get through it, because I knew it wasn't too far-fetched, because I'm looking at those, those sensibilities in that animal or whatever. So that helped me a lot,
Absolutely. Yeah, that's good thinking, but it still takes more time.
Yeah, there's no short way to do that. Yeah.
Instead of just fat guy, skinny guy, here's a lady, redhead, black guy, white guy, Chinese guy. It's we're on another planet, and there could be everybody from a million different systems, and they're all there, and they have different. mean, you don't want to just go back to the Future 3 ties. It was the future, so people were 3 ties, right? That's not a good solution.
Yeah.
You can throw that in once.
as a joke. Yeah. Actually, a nice Easter egg. Well, I think the world buildings, that's one of the cool things about the pages that you've got are the world building. And that was one criticism I had from Downcast 1 is people wanted more world building. They want to see more of the city, that kind of stuff. Because you have there's no budget restrictions. You can make whatever city you want, So I think it is important to show people that kind of stuff because that's sort of the escapism element.
And that's the part I'm most excited about. But you want to get out of a crowd. Here's the world building with a crowd that's a lot to swallow at once. In the second half of the book, we have them going through the back alleys of the city, but down in the it's down in the underbelly of the city, and they're dealing with the what did they need? The technology to yada yada yada, without giving too much away. But so they go to the tech guy who's who they're going to deal with, and I haven't drawn that part. I've drawn the part where they leave the city, but I haven't drawn the part where they're in the city and they're dealing with that. That's what I'm looking forward to most.
Yeah.
Second half of the book.
Yeah. I'm excited for it. Jasper says rewatch Total Recall. That's a good one.
It's a great movie.
It's a great movie.
I love when he gender bends and he's a fat lady in his fat lady suit.
2
The
weeks.
movie's amazing.
Nice. Well, I think I'm going to wrap up the stream because now I'm thinking, well, Charlie and I are going to go through the campaign and make sure it's sparkling. And
I just looked at the page. You put so many different things up there. I love it.
Yeah, we can add or take away or whatever, but we'll go through it together. And tomorrow Fatal's coming. Appreciate everyone for watching the stream. And I'm going to be everywhere. I think everyone's going to be sick of seeing me and Charlie around, but that's okay. We'll be everywhere this week. So appreciate everyone. And thanks for coming on the stream. We'll see you next time.
Oh, thanks, Brad.
Good to talk to everybody. Bye.
Yes.
Bye, everyone.